Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Bonkekook here, aka the Lonely Achievement God, continuing our achievement coverage of Train Station Renovation. We are now to the 9th level, over halfway through there. And we're heading to Farmley. Farmley is a very long level and somewhat confusing, so go ahead and stay with me. We're going to go ahead and go through the level together. All of the achievements we have left are basically for completing the story. The only one that we have to still keep a focus on is using the segregated bins, so go ahead and build one to your right when you spawn in. The first objective we have to do is we need to find the key to the storeroom. So what you're going to do is pull out your crowbar, and along the right wall here, you'll see a room boarded up. We need to rip the boards out. Go inside, and on the table here is the key. That'll get you your first objective taken care of. Excuse me. We now need to prepare the clock for repair. The bad news is the clock parts spawn randomly around the floor. So once we get into this room, this key opened this door. We're going to pick up the items on the ground here. We're going to take the crowbar and get rid of this, and that will prepare the clock room. I do recommend pulling out your broom and getting the crowbar, or spider webs. Wow. The spider webs in here just so you don't forget them. And we have to build a clock here. And there are 5 parts to the clock. There are 2 hands, the face, and 2 gear portions. I'm not learned enough to know about the different part names and all that. But the problem is that the parts are relatively random. They spawn around the area. Now, they do glow with a golden, sparkle to them. So they are relatively easy to see. We already saw one, although it didn't pop up. You see the gear sitting on the floor here. So we're going to pick up the gear and we're going to bring it back to that room. To drop the item, just equip your hands and the item will drop on the floor there. Now we need to return and find the other 4 parts. And the problem is, as I said, they spawn randomly around. Now they are relatively easy to see because they sparkle, but you just kind of got to wander around to find them. We have the long hand here. And again, we'll switch to hands and drop it off. There's nothing in here. This bathroom is notorious for having parts. There's the clock face there. Unfortunately, once again, we don't have have the first piece that we need, but we have 3 of the 5 now. We're going to head back into the bathroom because there's another spot in this bathroom. There's the small hand. That's the first time I've seen the small hand in that position, so again, I can't just tell you exactly where the parts are because they seem to be random. There's another spot in this back bathroom, right back in this corner. I have almost always found an item in this back corner of this bathroom. So that's our 5th item. You can also find them out here on the ground. I found one by this table here on my last playthrough. I honestly don't know how far the parts go. If they can wind up on the platforms, I kind of doubt they would do that to you. So unfortunately, I can't be as thorough as I tend to like to be because I have no idea how much the randomness extends. I could play this 50 times and I still might not know how many different locations there could be for everything. So unfortunately, this is kind of the best I can do. Wander around, look for the glows. There are 5 parts. There's a regular gear. There is the small and big hands. There's the clock face. And then there's this piece we have in our hands right here, which is the first one you need to put on the clock. The second one you need to put on the clock is the normal gear. Then we get the clock face. Then we grab the long hand. And we grab the shorthand. With that done, we just need to press right trigger on the clock to give it to the museum. And then finally, we need to clean the graffiti. Now, that doesn't mean all of the graffiti around the level. It is referring to the graffiti that is up on the scaffolding here. So what you need to do is get out your sponge and go up the ladders. You may want to stop running for this, but it's still rather difficult to go straight up the ladders, so just be careful. Feel free to scan just so you can see the graffiti a little bit better. We're going to clean this up. I apologize if you can hear that. I'm getting a phone call and it's vibrating, so I'm sorry if you can hear that on the recording. And now we're going to go up the other scaffolding. Gonna get another graffiti over here. And just do your best to make sure you're getting all of it. Make sure you pay attention because the black and white graffiti with the black and white background can be difficult to see everything if you do miss too much. Just make sure you're paying attention when it pops out of view like that. Now turn around and we have this little damaged area here that we need to paint over. And once again, just make sure that you paint over thoroughly so that you're not leaving any sections unpainted. Again, just keep an eye out for when it pops and disappears that you've completed the paint. And once you have done all of that, you can jump down, pull out your wrench, and take out the scaffolding. Scaffolding. I don't know how I said that the first time. We're going to take out all these pieces of scaffolding here. The ladder will go with it. And there we go. All of the tasks for the level have been completed. I wanted to go over a couple of quick things that you may miss if you're not paying too much attention. First off, go back into this room. Get your broom out, get this spider web, and fix this window. This window is very missable because you don't do anything with it, like removing the glass or anything like that. So that window is something that on my previous playthroughs I had missed. So I just want to point it out to you guys and gals. When we get up to the platforms, there are going to be a lot of train repairs we need to do, so make sure you're being thorough there. As you've probably noticed, there's no other location for a bin down here. We made that segregated bin out of the front door, but there's no other place for us to put another segregated bin or a mixed trash bin. Excuse me. So what we're going to do is go up this staircase here. You can see the little blue bin symbol. We're going to build a mixed bin here, but before you do, there's some graffiti back behind there. This one is very easy to miss. It's very dark, so if you're not scanning for it, it may not even show up. You may miss it completely, and I did. So I wanted to point it out right away so that you don't run into the same error that I made. Specifically, we're going to take care of this one. And then we'll grab the one to the left too, just so we don't miss it. But this one is dark red on a brick wall, so it's easy to miss. This one isn't so bad, but we're going to grab it too before we build the bin, just so we don't have to worry about it. There we go. Once that's done, go ahead and build a mixed bin there. Excuse me. Now, when you run over this way, I just want to point this out. You have 2 platforms here, and you have a ton of bins. There's 3 bin locations, I believe, on each platform. So we're going to build another segregated one over here. I think we're in the perimeter, so let's back up. The reason why is now you have stairwells leading to each bin in the middle, and you have your segregated one over there, so it makes it a little bit easier for you to sort all of your items. The only other thing that you really need... that's one thing I forgot to point out. I do apologize. So this dirt or dust on the ground isn't cleanable. Oh, hey, maybe they fixed it. Okay, so I was wrong. They fixed this. It is now cleanable. If you are playing this without an update, maybe you're playing it offline or whatever, this patch of dirt and dust was uncleanable. The good news is, even if you don't get this patch of dust, it does not count against you getting 100% for the level, but it looks like they fixed it, so that's good to know. I was not aware of that. But that patch, if you can't clean it, that means you must not have gotten the update, or you're playing offline and never got the update. You can still 100% the level without cleaning up that patch of dust. And the only other thing that is kind of easy to miss, and I believe it's out this way. I'm going to just make sure we cover it now, because everything else is relatively straightforward. Okay, so I was wrong. It was over here. I apologize for that. But you may not even come over here, and so you may miss this one item that's just kind of sitting separately from everything else. It's not a big thing. You do have to check all the trains to make sure, there's nothing you need to repair, which we do need to repair things. But if you're not paying attention, there's just that one green box over here that is very easy to miss. So I did want to jump over and point that out to you now, so that you won't miss it in the future. Everything else is relatively easy to see. As you can see here, there's almost nothing on these platforms. There really isn't that much to worry about on this one specifically. A couple of benches and stuff like that. This is a yellow item. I don't recommend trying to stick it into the yellow bin. Feel free to give it a shot if you want, but that was the hardest item to get into these bins for me. So I completely understand if you cannot get... If you can't get that into the bin, don't worry about it, just destroy it. It's not worth the frustration trying to get it into the yellow bin there. So anything that looks like that, feel free to destroy it. But again, everything else, try to get into your bins. So what we're going to do is we're going to ignore the platform and all that for now. We're going to run back into the station and go back to the very front, and we're going to start sorting everything out. That's basically everything that I felt should be pointed out. So from this point on, it's going to be relatively, boring, repetitive, just doing the same cleaning motions we've been doing. Again, use the scan as much as possible. And we're actually going to run outside the building and take care of those windows so we can get the boards off of them first. Just make sure that you are getting all the boards all the glass and then repairing the windows before you move on. It is sometimes easy to forget to fix the window. But the reason that's why it's also very easy to miss that bathroom window, because if you're not paying any attention when you go into the bathroom, you might not expect that window to be repaired because it's not with the group you already fixed. So, um, so what I recommend doing is bringing all your trash over to that stairwell when you're down here and just dropping it off with everything else. That way, eventually, you'll be able to just bring all of the trash up to the top of the stairs at once, and it allows you to focus on. It's interesting. It will not let us clean that. There we go. Do your best to find things in the room. I think the spider webs are the only things in these rooms. But it's difficult to tell until you get all the stuff outside taken care of. So, if only painting was this easy. Basically painted every room in the house since we've moved in now. So, I wish it was this easy. Get the broom and clean up this dirt on the, or dust on the ground. Got a couple of items to pick up. And again, from this point on, just scan, run in circles, scan, make sure you're doing everything you can to find all the items that you need to pick up. Quite the pile of dust over here. Gonna get all of this cleaned up as best we can, following the lawn mowing simulator path. If you've watched those videos, just start on the outside and work your way towards the center. There we go, got that all cleaned up. We're gonna grab this bag and throw it over by the steps. That's garbage, so we'll throw that. Actually, we probably could have destroyed that. And we almost missed the little tiny item. Be vigilant. Make sure you're running around rooms and scanning before you move on, just so you don't miss anything. Got a bunch of graffiti here. Go ahead and get that all taken care of. Again, feel free to scan. It makes it easier to tell exactly where the graffiti is if you're on a wall that's a little darker. Then we'll head into the bathroom. The door does need to be fixed, so make sure you get that. Okay, we'll just get some of the things off the ground. And probably destroy some more things in here. These bags, so we'll go ahead and bring these out to the segregated bins. And like I said, this level is one of the longer ones in the game, so gonna be a lot of parts in the video where I'm just talking nonsense. Because there's not a whole lot else to add. That's it. Looks like it. We'll run this over here, and then we'll jump into the other bathroom. I don't think there's very much to fix in the other bathroom. Which I thought was super weird. But, yep, the scan got us nothing there. So I think we're good to go here. As you saw there, the scan can be somewhat unreliable. We were scanning and it was telling us there were all these things we had to do. And then once we picked up that yellow bag and got rid of that fridge or whatever, that cabinet, whatever it was, all of a sudden there was nothing to pick up there, but 4 different items were showing up on the to be picked under the scan meter there. So the scanning is somewhat unreliable, so just keep that in mind as you go through. We're going to go ahead and take care of the graffiti here. And there is a little tiny spider web up there to the left, so make sure you grab it. We're gonna go ahead and get the other graffiti down here. And again, like I said, these things are really hard to get into their bins, so feel free to just destroy them. The amount of frustration trying to get that to work isn't worth it, in my opinion. It's just rude. Here we go. We got a vast majority of things cleaned up down here now. Get the spider web. And the other spider web. And now we'll paint up these spots on the wall. Got that one done. This one. Since we built that segregated bin up here, we're just going to bring these bags over to here. It'll be a little bit quicker than going all the way to the other bin at the beginning. For the other platforms, you can feel free, in other bin areas on each platform, feel free to make whatever bins you want, make it a little bit easier on you, but we're just going to follow along with this for now. I'm a fairly patient person, so I'm fine with just doing it this way. Make sure you're scanning to look for any new items. But keep in mind when you are on the train platform and you do that, sometimes it will get items from above you. It's telling us we have an item for replacement, but I honestly don't know what that is. So I'm guessing it's picking up something up above us. So we're gonna start our trick here, or our trek here of bringing all the garbage bags up. Shouldn't take too long. And then we can focus our efforts on the platforms, getting all of those cleaned up. There we go. All of that's done. So what I recommend doing is starting at one of the ends of the platforms and working your way back. We're just gonna we'll build a segregated bin over here, although it doesn't make that much of a difference. Now we're gonna focus on this train car here. There is a bunch of graffiti on the train car. You also have to repair these footsteps, these steps. Repair the footsteps and the handles here too. So keep an eye out for that. That's something I don't think we've dealt with yet. And then once you have the handles repaired, you can clean up the area near the handle as well. So just take it kind of slow, going around, making sure you get everything cleaned up. Don't worry about repairing the windows or anything like that. You can worry about that when you're inside. As you saw, half of the graffiti or dirt or whatever we're cleaning up here was its own and disappeared. So now we're working on a second section and just keep following along. But there are a ton of train parts and pieces to clean and repair. So be vigilant when you're near the trains and everything, because there are a ton of parts to clean up that you might miss. And because this is a two-layer train station with everything down below and then all the trains up top, sometimes your scanner isn't reliable either, so keep that in mind. We're almost finished here. Okay, so that side of the train is clean. We're going to head over to here. Take care of that ladder. Pick up that bag before it falls in, and we'll just run. Well, we went the wrong way. But we've already committed, might as well run all the way over here. Get that into its proper receptacle. Make sure that when you're following along, I do recommend keeping an eye on the wall behind you. We did discuss that um, the one graffiti that was easy to miss, so just do a scan or two along the wall to make sure you're not missing anything else, although I'm pretty sure there isn't anything else. As I said, I try to make note of the things that are really missable when we start the level so that you can take care of them right off the bat and then not have to worry about them later. The train parts are just too involved for me to have done that at the beginning. There's way too many things involved in the trains to. Once again, we're gonna just go along the side of the train and clean. This would be much simpler with upgraded tools, but of course, we can't use upgraded tools because of the achievement for beating the game without upgrading our tools. So Okay, we got that all finished. There we go. Excuse me. There we go. All of the sides of the train are cleaned. We're just going to double check that we don't need to repair. There's something to repair. We're going to leave this here for now because we can use it to get up and down. So don't worry about that quite yet. But we can take care of these. And again, there are a lot of train parts to repair. And yes, as I already said, this would be significantly faster with upgraded tools, but we are not afforded that luxury. So just run back and forth here. Just run up and down the trains, scanning so you can see the parts you have to repair. Once you think you've done everything on the outside, feel free to go inside. I'm just going to grab these and get them off the rail so we don't forget about them. But I recommend leaving those logs because it's an easy way to get back up. I'm going to jump in. We got a couple of bottles on the ground. And as always, work on the shelving and the chairs and anything on the ground as you go through, and then we'll focus on the windows on a second pass. Getting these items out of the train is annoying because these doors only stay open for a couple of seconds. We missed one shelf, but that's what we double check for. Okay, so just focus on the windows now. Sometimes these glass bags will fall inside and sometimes they fall outside. I haven't really figured out what makes a difference there. If they do fall inside, just make sure you throw them out to wherever your pile is. Excuse me, I may have bumped my mic there. Now it says we have an item to pick, but we're not seeing anything here. It may just be picking up something that's on the ground. It may be an item that fell through the floor. It's kind of hard to say. For the time being, though, head out and get all your items that you brought off of the train into their respective bins. Whatever the item for replacement is, I do not know. We won't worry about it. Just go up along every train car. There are some things on this train car. I don't think there's anything to repair. But the ground does bump up here so that you can jump onto the other platform if you need to do that. We do not need to keep these boards, so we are not going to. Get the graffiti off the ground here. Just for the heck of it, we'll get another segregated bin here. Again, money isn't really an issue anymore. We got the money achievement, so feel free to spend as lavishly as you would like from here on out. Um, it is worth noting that you do have a baseline amount of money you do need for each level, so don't spend all of your money. Try to keep between 50 and 100K on you, just so that you have a buffer. Um, we're gonna do this. I'm gonna sell you, and we'll make a mixed there. That way you can go back there. Okay. That was rude. You in, we'll get you in. Grab you. You in there. And we just have this green one, I believe. And before we forget, ladies and gents, get your wrench out and head over down towards these trains because we have some more parts to take care of. As I said, this one is one of those levels that would be significantly faster with upgraded equipment, but we can't afford to do that if we want to get all the achievements as quickly as possible. Obviously, you could play through the game again, but you're going to have to do this one way or another regardless, so. So many train parts. Okay, and I think that's all of the train repairs that need to be done over there. I think we're essentially clear on this platform. We just need to make sure there's nothing else along this train car here. That, of course, is. That train car I know is what we have left, so I'm just trying to make sure we got everything done before we head towards that last train car. Looks like it. So let's jump down, and we're going to do the same thing. Look for handles and steps that need to be repaired on the outside. Just going to double check we got the train parts over here. Okay. I can't get up. No, there we go. Again, just double check the outside handles, stairs before you head on in. Looks like we're good, so we'll jump on in and we're gonna, just like we have been. I think I may have made a mistake there. That might have been a colored item and I couldn't tell. So, again, making that mistake isn't that big of a deal. You do have, I believe you have enough items in career mode to get the 400 items, but even if you don't, I will show you a method to get it done afterwards. Just like before, make sure you are getting the seats and the shelving fixed. Okay, everything's done. Let's get the glass in the windows. There we go. Wow. Want me to get that piece? Well, that's just rude. Okay, let's get out. We'll try to sort everything we pulled out. We also have some benches and the like that need destroyed along the platform here. Oh, I apparently have an item to pick up somewhere. But it's not on this side. Must be something left on the train. There we go. We missed that. This claims there's a big trash item out here somewhere. There we go. Like I said, this level can be very confusing and annoying, so being thorough and using the scan liberally is very important for these levels. Item to pick. that's just about everything, ladies and gents. And one window that we cannot reach from this side, so we have to go outside. There we go. That should be everything, so go ahead and start decorating to your heart's content. Again, I recommend following with exactly what I purchase. We're just going to run around and make sure there's nothing we have to do in any of those offices or bathrooms. I think you need to buy things for in here. We do, so let's get 3 of those tables, and we need a clock. Weird that we're putting a clock in after we just took one out, but whatever. We'll run up to the platform here. And there we are, ladies and gentlemen. I do apologize for that last window. As you can see, it took us an hour and 7 minutes to get this level done. It is one of the longer levels in the game, but there's the achievement for completing Farmley. And there is the achievement for getting 100% on Farmley. So again, if you have any questions or comments for me, as always, let me know down below and I'll do my best to answer them. But if not, ladies and gents, I will see you next time when we move on to the Playford Hills level. We have only 6 levels left, plus finishing off the tutorial. But again, if you have any questions or comments for me, let me know. But if not, I will see you guys next time.